Hello, everyone. Dr. Christine Kaczmar coming at you here with another episode of Smart Digestion Radio. This is episode 39. And today I'm going to talk about gallstones and useless gallbladder surgeries, aka cholecystectomies. Stay tuned.
Ain't nothing wrong with looking before you flush. This is Smart Digestion Radio with Dr. Christine Kaczmar, the podcast that makes things run a little smoother. And now your host, Dr. Christine Kaczmar.
Do. That's what I think about when I talk about my podcast. Do. How you guys doing? Welcome in. How is your summer going? It is late August. Today, in fact, as I'm recording, we are on the brink of a total solar eclipse. So that's exciting stuff, right? And brings a new meaning to a full moon or whatever it is. I don't know. Anyway, today I am excited because I'm going to talk to you about gallstones, why we get them, what they feel like, what they are, how to get rid of them, all that jazz. So let's get into it. The very first thing I want to do is just give you a little bit of a anatomy lesson on the gallbladder. Where is it? What does this thing do? All that stuff. So essentially the gallbladder is a sac. It's a little pouch. It's a muscular pear-shaped sac underneath the right lobe of your liver, and it stores bile. Your liver manufactures the bile, your gallbladder stores the bile, and then it will eject the bile into the duodenum, or the first portion of the small intestine, through the common bile duct. Now, so many people have had their gallbladder lopped off. Remember, no spare parts, hashtag no spare parts. And this procedure is more commonly referred to as a cholecystectomy. Okay? Very common. Here's what I want you to know. That despite the fact that you've had your gallbladder removed, the beauty of the human body is it will make its own little pseudo pouch or little fake pouch. Not necessarily in everybody, but this is how brilliant the body is. You can't just have that bile just dripping into nothing. So the body does try to make up for our human error, really. These procedures, these cholecystectomies, are way overdone. And most of them are done because the doctor will say you have gallstones. And that's going to be the meat of my podcast today, is talking about gallstones, what causes them, and that kind of thing. And you may be surprised at some of the things that you may discover here today. Reading from my Tortora textbook, page 800, most gallstones, biliary calculi, stem from the fusion of crystals of cholesterol in the bile. The presence of gallstones is called cholelithiasis. Lithos is Latin for stone, by the way. Following their formation, gallstones gradually grow in size and number and may cause minimal, intermittent, or complete obstruction to the flow of bile from the gallbladder into the duct system. If obstruction of the outlet occurs and the gallbladder cannot empty as it normally does after eating, the pressure within it increases, and the person may have intense pain or discomfort, known as biliary colic. Jaundice, due to the inability to secrete bilirubin into the intestine, will accompany complete biliary obstruction. Now, that's not a very common occurrence, just so you guys know. And I want to also tell you that the term gallstones is really a misnomer because these are not stones. Technically, they are materials of cholesterol solids. That's what a gallstone is. Further, treatment of gallstones consists of using gallstone-dissolving drugs, lithotripsy, known as shockwave therapy, or surgery. For people who have had recurrent gallstones or in whom drugs or lithotripsy is not indicated, removal of the gallbladder and its contents, cholecystectomy, is necessary. More than 500,000 cholecystectomies are performed each year in the United States. Now, I am here to tell you this book was printed in circa 1995, and I'm sad to say that I'm sure that number is much more increased. We're probably looking at more like over 1 million of these. I'll check into that in just a bit and let you know. Okay, so here I am on this website called ethicon.com. This is a site linked up to Johnson & Johnson. It's part of the Johnson & Johnson family of companies. And so I'm just going to read this to you. It says, each year, 1 million more Americans are diagnosed with gallstones. joining the 20 million others who already have the condition. Until 1990, surgical patients with the painful disease, again, we're calling this a disease, respectfully disagree, broken medical model, were put through a 5-day hospital stay and a 3 to 6 week recuperation period, meaning they would actually cut them open, versus now they have a procedure called the laparoscopic surgery, okay? Reading on, it says, in less than a decade, minimally invasive cholecystectomy has become the dominant gallbladder removal procedure, which has accompanied a major shift to outpatient status. In fact, because of the patient demand, clinical evidence, and reduced cost, laparoscopic cholecystectomy represents an ideal case study for adopting a minimally invasive approach. Soon after its introduction in the mid-'80s, laparoscopic cholecystectomy was quickly adopted as a safe and effective alternative to traditional open cholecystectomy. Since that time, it has become the treatment of choice for symptomatic gallstones, with approximately 1.2 million laparoscopic procedures in the U.S. per year, according to the national data. So as I said to you earlier, my notes from my textbook from the mid-'90s, I said that this number is going to definitely be above 1 million, or probably be above a million. And there you have it. According to this Johnson & Johnson affiliated website, ethicon.com, it says 1.2 million laparoscopic procedures in the U.S. per year, according to the national data. That's troubling, because inherent in all of these statistics I read to you is the failure to identify the true cause of why people have gallstones in the first place, and if they're even really a condition or a disease. I bet most every single person listening has a gallstone. That doesn't mean that it's an unhealthy thing. And I will certainly say and make the case for having gallstones is no reason to remove that organ. We have no spare parts. And this is another example of why the medical model is so broken, is because they're so quick to perform these procedures, and they're useless in most cases. And here is what I find to be more significant, and that is, what are the patients saying? Having been in practice for 17 plus years, I have countless patients who have had their gallbladder removed, who have undergone this procedure because their doctor said, you have this right-sided pain, you have this gas, you have this bloat, you have this heartburn. By removing your gallbladder, this will go away, Mrs. Jones. So here the people went ahead and they listened to their doctor. They took their advice. They had their organ removed, the gallbladder in this case, and yet none of those symptoms went away. In fact, I can't tell you how many times these symptoms worsened. It breaks your heart. And it's so common in my practice that people have had these symptoms, have had these aches and pains, had their gallbladder removed, and now these aches and pains and abdominal cramping and so on and so forth, the diarrhea, is worse than it was before. Why would that be? Because the solution was never to have removed the gallbladder in most instances. Now, this is not every single time, okay? I mean, there is a need to remove certain organs when they're diseased, cancerous, gangrenous, and so on and so forth. But to remove someone's gallbladder because they have the presence of gallstones is malpractice. To remove any organ without finding and trying to identify natural methods to bring that body back is malpractice. All right, let's take a quick break, and I'll be right back. The phrase, you are what you eat, is false. Better said, you are what you digest. Hey, it's Dr. Christine Kaczmar here, and if you're listening and you're out of state, maybe you live in Florida, maybe you live in Texas, and you'd like to work with me, I have you covered. Go to virtualdigestiondoc.com. That's virtualdigestiondoc.com. You will see there are 3 very specific ways that we can work together, even at long distance. Check out virtualdigestiondoc.com. Are you tired of being gassy and bloated and feeling like you got a bowling ball in your belly? I've got you covered there too. Go to omegadigestion.com to pick up my flagship product, Smart Carb. Smart Carb is a digestive enzyme with all of the enzymes in it you need to digest fats, carbs, proteins, dairy, you name it. It also has the healing botanicals of turmeric, black pepper, and cinnamon. Check it out by going to omegadigestion.com. That's omegadigestion.com. All right, welcome back. And what I want to do now is let's get into some real reasons. Let's get into some truth behind why people have gallstones and what we could do about it. First, understand that removing gallstones doesn't change the consistency of bile. Gallstones are all about bile. This is the chemical that your liver makes. It's the most alkaline substance in the body. We need bile, okay? And so when the bile's consistency is too thick, it's going to form these gallstones. Gallstones develop because of poor digestion and low stomach acid, most all the time. This is the reason. Poor digestion, low stomach acid. And when we have low stomach acid, this is going to cause the bile to become too thick. So removing the gallstones is not resolving the problem at all. Next, gallstones are extremely common. In fact, as I said earlier, their occurrence is more predominant in women versus men, nearly 2 to 1. 25 to 44% of the population has gallstones. And also, remember, they are not really stones. They're more like cholesterol bile material. So what causes gallstones? Your diet, your digestion. Here are some things that you might not consider that cause gallstones, and that is birth control pill use. This is because birth control pills create excess estrogen, and this can lead to an increase in cholesterol, which can cause a gallstone. Let's talk a little bit more about that. A study out of the University of British Columbia, Vancouver, found that birth control pills are linked to gallstones and gallbladder disease. Other data is that oral contraceptives are the most popular mode of birth control among women and are used by more than 100 million women worldwide. Long-term use of birth control pills has been linked to a variety of serious adverse events such as deep vein thrombosis, these are blood clots usually in the legs, strokes, and pulmonary embolism. What I'm doing now is just reading you a little bit of an excerpt from the website injury.findlaw.com, and it's titled Yaz Birth Control Side Effects and Lawsuits. It says, Yaz is a popular birth control pill manufactured by Bayer Healthcare. The pill can also be prescribed to treat moderate acne as well as premenstrual dysphoric disorder. In addition to Yaz, Bayer produces Yasmin and Bayaz, 2 birth control pills that are nearly identical to Yaz. Generic versions of Yaz are sold under the names Ocella, Gianvi, and Sayeda. Side effects associated with Yaz. As with any prescription drugs, taking Yaz may cause women to experience unintended physical symptoms or side effects. Bayer has disclosed some mild side effects associated with Yaz, such as nausea and weight gain. In addition, many women have experienced serious health complications, including blood clots, high blood pressure, breast cancer, heart attack. Although Bayer has stated that these side effects occur very infrequently in young women, thousands of women or their families have filed lawsuits related to these and other serious complications. The most common complaint in Yaz lawsuits is one of the synthetic hormones in Yaz allegedly caused blood clots to develop in women who took the pill. A blood clot occurs when blood coagulates to form a solid mass in a vein or an artery. While nearly all birth control pills carry a risk of blood clots, some reports have suggested that women taking Yaz and other drugs containing D-rospyrinone are 2 to 3 times more likely to develop clots than those taking other birth control pills. FDA warnings about Yaz side effects. Since Yaz was first introduced in 2006, the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, has responded periodically to reports of the drug's side effects. In 2008, the FDA warned Bayer that television commercials for Yaz did not adequately warn women about the risk of serious and life-threatening side effects. Then in 2012, the FDA required labels for birth control pills containing D-rospyrinone, warning that the pills may carry a heightened risk of blood clots. However, despite releasing several public warnings about these side effects, the FDA has not yet issued a Yaz recall. Yaz side effect lawsuits. Thousands of women have filed lawsuits claiming they suffered serious side effects after taking Yaz. Many suits were filed in state courts, with Pennsylvania and New Jersey alone having hundreds of Yaz cases each. In federal courts, so many Yaz lawsuits are pending that they have been consolidated into one court in Illinois for pretrial proceedings. So, I mean, come on. You could find a lot of this stuff going on online. You got to be smart. Birth control pills are not innocent. And let me just say this. In practice, I can't tell you how many patients I have who have cysts, fibroids, tumors on their ovaries and their uterus, etc., as a result of being on this birth control. Now, that's alleged. I can't prove that, but it's a consistent thing I see time and time again. So I know what's up, okay? You should know what's up as well. Don't think that taking these birth control pills are innocent. Please reconsider giving birth control pills to your young daughter who has a heavy flow during menstruation. That is not a good call. It's going to lead to problems down the road, whether it's cysts, fibroids, a stroke, God forbid. a blood clot in the leg. Is it worth it? Many people don't even realize that gallbladder issues are linked to these birth control pills because, as I said, the estrogen increases the cholesterol, and that's what really bile is made from as well, is cholesterol. And it's going to make these solid type materials known as stones. Another cause of gallstones is the use of statin drugs, things like Lipitor. These are drugs that are going to create gallstones because they also tend to boost the amount of cholesterol in the bile. If you've not read the book Grain Brain by Dr. David Perlmutter, MD, highly recommend it. Within this book contains tons of studies showing that if your cholesterol is indeed over 200, then you're going to have better cognitive function, better memory, and so forth as you age. One of the reasons why there is such a large propensity for Alzheimer's is because so many of the baby boomers and their parents are and have been on statin drugs for a long time, and that's going to dry up the cholesterol in your brain. That does not sound like a good thing because it isn't. And so that's going to definitely impair thought, cognitive function, and so on. Gallstones caused by diet, digestion, specifically low stomach acid, birth control pills, statin drugs. Some of the common symptoms associated with gallstones are none. Most gallstones are asymptomatic, meaning they don't cause symptoms. But for those that do have symptoms associated with them, you're going to find things like nausea, vomiting, pain in the upper abdominal area, specifically right side, that can last for several hours, painful heartburn and gas as well. But each one of these is also linked to low stomach acid too. And so to look up the last podcast I did exclusively on stomach acid, low stomach acid, check out episode 34. And you can get there by going to thedigestiondoctor.com/34. That's thedigestiondoctor.com/34. The final thing I want to talk to you about are these HIDA scans or cholecystographies. These are the checks that the doctor will do to see whether or not your gallbladder is squeezing correctly. Doctors are going to inject into the vein in your arm radioactive material, but don't worry, it's safe, into your body, and then they're going to watch the movement of the gallbladder to see how well it's constricting. For those playing along that want to know what HIDA stands for, it stands for hepatobiliary aminodiacetic acid. As I close out for today, as we're talking about gallstones, cholecystectomies, the gallbladder issues in general, it's really important that you really specifically identify the root cause of stress. This is why the medical model is broken, that with these surgeries, with these procedures, with the prescription writing of birth control pills, statin drugs, a very, very important integral piece of human health is being neglected. And that is, what is the source of stress? What is relating to, what is causing the high cholesterol? What is causing the gallstones? What is causing the heartburn? What is causing all of these issues? It's not that you have an extra organ called the gallbladder. You don't have heartburn because you have too much stomach acid. It's the opposite. It's the converse. You have too little. You don't have gas and bloat and all this other discomfort because you lack these prescription meds. We need to be identifying the true source of stress. And most of that's coming from what's going on in the gut. If you would like to watch a 30-minute video of me talking about the cascade of stress that happens to the digestive system, I highly recommend you check out my free video, thedigestiondoc.click/stress. thedigestiondoc.click/stress. /stress. Okay? A free video for you there. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode about the nonsense of all of these procedures done on the gallbladder, removing them like crazy, all of the neglect that's going on in the broken medical model. I hope that this has helped, and I am here for you. If you have any questions, you can give my office a call at 586-685-2222. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time. Alrighty then, another episode of Smart Digestion Radio is in the books. However, the conversation never stops there. Great hubs to connect with me are going to be my Facebook page, which is The Digestion Doc. That's my handle on Twitter and Instagram as well. If you are interested in joining my community, my private inner circle over on Facebook, go to healthyrebelsfb.com, healthyrebelsfb.com. And my other main sites are thedigestiondoctor.com and omegadigestion.com. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being a part of the mission. My mission is to save 5 million lives from the broken medical model, and I cannot do it alone. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.